I don't believe in hell right now. Do you know that? I don't believe in hell, ... right now. Now, what do I mean by that? Do I mean that my belief in hell is in a placeholder and, just right now I'm going through a transition. I'm trying to figure out whether or not I believe in it? No. Do I believe that, I don't believe that hell is in existence anymore, like I'm an annihilationist or a conditional immortalitist who believes that ultimately the fate of the unbeliever is annihilation and there is no eternal hell? No. I am still a traditionalist with regard to the duration of hell and the existence of hell. Now, I don't know what hell's going to be like. I think it'll be probably very different for each person according to the judgment. But I don't believe that right now, today, in time, right now, that hell exists. I don't think there's any place called hell right now. I don't believe that it is open for business. I think that it becomes a place that is necessary only after judgment. You see, think about it. You've got God in the great white judgment bringing all the people before him, all the unbelievers before him. And if your name was not written in the book of life, then you are judged according to the books that were opened. And then after that, you have your sentencing. You see, I don't believe that there's a pre-arraignment to where you're taken in and you're in county jail until you go to prison or something like that. You're in some type of temporary hell. Well, maybe so. I don't know. The people have got to be somewhere, because I don't believe that people go out of existence until judgment, at least unbelievers. Let's put it this way. I believe that believers, whenever they die, we go to a place that is with Christ. That's the best we know. We don't really, we can call it heaven for sure, in the sense that that is the place where God resides, but not heaven in the sense of our ultimate dwelling place, because that's the new earth. Our ultimate dwelling is the restoration of God's original intent, which is, resurrected bodies in the new earth. In between, but before we get our resurrected bodies, before the final enemy is defeated, which Paul calls death, we will be disembodied spirits, or our spirits will leave our bodies and exist in some form. I don't know what form. I don't know what that looks like. I think it's left quite mysterious in the scriptures. And I think according to Paul, in his letter to the Corinthians, he says that we would much rather have our new body and be resurrected and be with Christ than be without our body and be with Christ. But we would rather be with Christ than be in our present state. In other words, he would love to go on and be with the Lord. But what he'd much rather happen is to have his new body given to him and be with the Lord. So, those are the three forms we exist in right now. We can exist in either our present state, where we have our body and spirit together, our breached state, where we are not completely human, because I think that's what it is. We're not complete. We're not complete humans until we have a body and a soul and a spirit. And that is a disembodied spirit, a breached state. Conscious, yes, in some sense, not asleep, and certainly not out of existence, but we will be with the Lord in this disembodied state. And then unbelievers as well. They exist in their present state, their disembodied state somewhere, or their resurrected state. But it's not until they get in their resurrected state. You just think about it. God goes, he waits. So the resurrection is so incredibly important. The resurrection is not just important for us as believers, because that's where we'll be complete humans again. We would not want to exist in that immaterial, in-between state, even though it's with Christ forever, because we're not complete humans. We're not complete with body, soul, spirit, or body / immaterial part of ourselves. And God brings us together in the very end and says that's whenever the last enemy is defeated. And that's where he will finally, I mean, think about it. He waits until the resurrection of the dead in Revelation to judge the unbelievers. They have to be in their body before they are judged. We don't get any sense that there's a judgment before they get their bodies back. And so how could we ever get a sense in which they are judged if there's no judgment before we get our bodies back? I hope this makes sense. It makes sense to me. Now, the only thing that there's the only problem there is with this really is the parable of the rich man and Lazarus. But if you understand the nature of parables, I mean, that doesn't present much of a problem, because I don't think the nature of that parable is to say, what the afterlife will be like and try to make it walk on all fours. You can't make parables walk on all fours. They usually have one, maybe at most two related main ideas. And the main idea there is that, the things that you think are going on here on the earth, where a poor man is forgotten by God, and a rich man is forever remembered by God. It's really the reversal. Lazarus, whose name means God helps, is the only one that is remembered by God, and the rich man is forgotten forever. I think that's the main point. It's not about trying to figure out what the anatomy of heaven and hell are. So I want to say, because in the parable of the rich man and Lazarus, the rich man seems to immediately go to eternal torment. That eternal torment exists right now. I think that's talking about the ultimate judgment. After the ultimate judgment, the rich man will be in hell, and then Lazarus will be at Abraham's side, or at his in fellowship with Abraham, which is what the Jews thought was the most blessed place to be on the new earth. So anyway, I believe that hell will exist soon. I don't know how soon. I think it's a horrid thing that will happen to many people. I can't expound on the nature of hell and many things. I do believe it's eternal, but I don't believe it exists right now.